A taste of cannibalism, a spate of recent stomach-churning books, TV shows, and films suggests we've never looked so delicious to one another. Yeah. So the next big push by the progressives, of course, is going to be to eat people, eat each other. An image came to Chelsea G. Summers, a boyfriend accidentally, on purpose, hit by a car. Some quick work with a corkscrew, and his liver served Tucson style on toast. Yep, there it is. This Chelsea G. Summers is an unmarried woman who has a book called A Certain Hunger in her twisted imagination. Turns out cannibalism has a time and a place in the pages of some recent stomach-churning books and on television and film screens. Mrs. Summers and others suggest that time is now. There is Yellow Jackets, a Showtime series about a high school women's soccer team stranded in the woods for a few months too many, which premiered in November. The film Fresh, released on Hulu in March, involves an underground human meat trade for the rich. Lapvona, a novel published in June, portrays cannibalism in a medieval village overcome by plague and drought. The book Tender is the Flesh, released in English in 2020 and in Spanish in 2017, imagines a future society that farms humans like cattle. Also out in 2017, Raw tells the story of veterinarian student whose taste for meat escalates after consuming raw offal. Yummy. Still to come is Bones and All, the movie about a young love that becomes a lust for human consumption, is expected to be released later this year or early next. The story is extremely romantic. The fascination with cannibalism, perhaps not surprisingly, can toe a fine line, as Miss Summers learned while writing A Certain Hunger. Yeah, so this is nothing new. We've had stories about cannibalism for a long time. Remember that episode of South Park?
After a night with a hacksaw, I was all ready to put on my chili con carnival so that I could tell you personally about your parents' demise. And of course, feed you your chili. Do you like it? Do you like it, Scott? I call it Mr. and Mrs. Tennerman chili.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Nya, 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 nya. I made you eat your parents. Nya, 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 nya.
There is also the movie Ravenous, which came out in, I think, 99, and that was all about eating people. So, like I said, this is nothing new, and they're going to start pushing this. They're pushing this in our art. You're going to start seeing this sort of thing becoming more mainstream because they want to prepare us for a future where we do actually eat each other. So let's skip down here to the pilot episode of Yellow Jackets. Shows a teenage girl getting trapped, bled out like a deer, and served on a platter in a terrifying ritual. Bloodthirsty fans continue to dissect this scene on Reddit, where a subreddit message board dedicated to the series has more than 51,000 members. The show's tension is in the knowledge that cannibalism is coming, but when and why. I'll tell you when and why. It's because they want us to be consuming each other. I mean, the powers that be want us at each other's throats, literally, for food. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that I'm not going to be eating people. The only way I would eat a person is if it was in a life and death situation and that person died due to causes beyond my control. I'm not going to kill somebody to eat them. That doesn't make any sense, right? How is it that my life is more valuable than this other person's life? Maybe if we could definitively say that in some way, then okay, yeah, maybe if it was a life and death situation. These movies have been around. They even talk in here about, live right here, 19th. Creators of Yellow Jackets who live in Los Angeles say they wanted the plot to hint that human consumption wasn't merely for the character's survival. This not only adds a spine-tingling creepiness to the already dark story about the soccer team stranded in the wilderness, but also separates it from the real-life tale of Uruguayan rugby team trapped in the Andes in 1972, whose members resorted to cannibalism to survive. That event was later dramatized in the 1993 movie Alive. Never saw it. I already know how it goes. Plane crash in the Andes, people resort to cannibalism, then they eventually walk out of the Andes to save themselves. I think we're often drawn to things that repulse us the most, said Mrs. Lyle, 42. Yeah, she's one of the creators of Yellow Jackets. Yeah, that's what it is. It's this notion that, oh, we can't have that, so we want to fantasize about it. If you're fantasizing about eating people, there's something definitely wrong with you. You're not thinking right. And here you go. It says right here, look, the tale's as old as time. The author of Cannibalism, A Perfectly Natural History, of course, it's a perfectly normal thing for human beings to do, eating each other, says that fictional plots about eating human flesh are as old as literature itself. Pointing to examples that include the man-eating Cyclops in Homer's Odyssey. Okay, Mr. Shutt, you're an idiot. The Cyclops is not human. Cyclops is a giant with one eye. Did you know that the Cyclops myth is based on finding the skulls of woolly mammoths? Dr. Shutt holds a PhD in zoology from Cornell. Oh, so he's an idiot. Okay. He got his degree in zoology, a PhD from Cornell, yeah. So he's basically retarded. Okay. And he's a research associate, American Museum of Natural History. Yep. So the taboo has artistically been used to horrify for centuries. No. Being eaten alive by any creature is horrifying to any human. I mean, if you're not horrified by the notion of being eaten alive, doesn't matter who's doing it, then there's something definitely wrong with you. Because that just sounds like one of the worst, if not the worst way to go. When you take something that is so horrible and put it through the lens of fictionalization, he said, we get charged up about it. But we know we're safe, at least most of the time. Dr. Schutt only made it halfway through Hulu's Fresh before he had to stop the movie. It was almost too well done, he said. I'm sure it's just a masterpiece. Most of these people wouldn't know a good artwork from a hole in the ground. His book documents cannibalism has occurred around the world throughout history, lending these fictional tales a queasy whiff of what if. Okay, so how many of the times has cannibalism occurred out of necessity? How many times is it just a part of human existence? It's like, oh yeah, this is what we do to our neighbors. I can understand this is what we do to our enemies, but most people just don't go around doing that to their friends. And most of the time it's going to happen out of necessity, I would imagine. I don't know. Obviously, he studied the history. Historical examples in the book include mumia, a practice of using ground-up mummified bones to soothe various ailments that was popular in the 17th century Western Europe. The infamous Donner Party pioneers who became trapped in the Sierra Nevada in 1846, ritual cannibalism that took place in Papua New Guinea until the 1950s, and famine-induced cannibalism in China. And here you go. He's proving my point for me. The Donner Party and China in the 1960s. Those are both examples of people doing this out of desperation. As far as I know, it's illegal to eat human beings in the United States and everywhere in the Western world. Dr. Schutt's book also features the story of the so-called cannibal cop, the former New York Police Department officer who was arrested in 2013 for participating in fetish forums that fantasized about cannibalizing women and later acquitted. The New York Post has published more than 30 articles about the case, including one suggesting the Halloween costume of a policeman's uniform with severed hand on a plate. The unthinkable. As to what may be fueling the desire for cannibalism stories today, Miss Lyle, the Yellow Jackets co-creator, said, I think that we're obviously in a very strange moment. She listed the pandemic, climate change, school shootings, and years of political cacophony as possible factors. I feel like the unthinkable has become thinkable, Miss Lyle said, and cannibalism is very much squarely in that category of the unthinkable. No, maybe it's because we have no more hills to conquer. This is akin to these people saying, hey, we need to embrace the maps and let them be themselves. According to Miss Summers, cannibalism is always symbolic. No, it's not. Watch the movie Ravenous. It's not symbolic for anything. More generally, Miss Summers thinks that the recent spate of cannibalistic plots could also be commentaries on capitalism. Of course it is, because capitalism is evil. Cannibalism is about consumption, and it's about burning up from the inside. In order to exist, she said, burnout is essentially over-consuming yourself, your own energy, your own will to survive, your sleep schedule, your eat schedule, your body. Maybe if you didn't push yourself too hard, you wouldn't have that problem. The prop team on Yellow Jackets had a similarly unnerving task in determining what to use as a faux human flesh in the show's pilot episode. Should it be the lab-grown human steak made from stem cell that spurred outrage in a London museum? Oh, okay. The animal-free chicken, beef, salmon, and dairy substitutes that some companies are creating using similar technologies. Ultimately, the prop team went with venison. But they'll have to find an alternative for future episodes, said Miss Lyle, because many in the cast are vegan. Of course they are, because, they're better than the rest of us. Every vegan will tell you about how much better they are than the rest of us. I want to take a look at this notion, again, having been around for a long time.
Next thing, they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Promise, Tiger, I promise. I'll tell the exchange.
You tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them. Silent breed is people. We gotta stop them.
Now that is a clip out of the movie Soylent Green, in case you didn't catch the reference to Soylent Green there. Soylent Green was made in 1973, or released in 1973. And interesting fun fact about it, it is set in the year 2022, when they estimated that the population of New York would be 40 million people, and that global warming would have done so much damage to the planet that they could no longer rely on other forms of food because it would be so expensive to grow them. So yeah, just so you know, in the 1970s, there were more articles put out about the world getting hot than there were articles about the world getting cold. There was just that famous one, I think it was in Time, when they said, oh, hey, look, the world's getting colder. So everybody points to that to say, look, we used to say that the Earth was getting colder, and now we're saying the Earth is getting hotter. Make up your minds. No, in the 1970s, most articles said that, and I don't mean like a few more. No, I mean almost all said, hey, the Earth is getting hotter, and only a few said, hey, the Earth is getting colder. Just that Time magazine grabbed onto that one. So this is more realistic and pertinent than you might think based on this article, which I'll leave a link to down in the comments, because we have this here. Bizarre vegan burger that tastes like human flesh wins prestigious award. Of course it does, because they want to make us all eat human meat. They want to make us all eat the bugs, live in the pods. They want to take away our rights, our privileges, and know that, hey, when you die, you're going to go to sustaining the human population and getting us off of animal food, animal-based food. So yeah, to me, this is just a precursor. They're getting us ready for what human flesh is going to taste like. Now, how do they know this tastes like human flesh? They've probably actually already eaten human flesh, these sick bastards. But I mean, they are all LGBT, and they probably had a lot of male sausage in their mouth. A lot, if you know what I mean. A vegan burger that tastes like human flesh has won a prestigious Cannes Lion Festival of Creativity Award. Yeah, okay, that's very creative of you to make a human burger. Nobody's ever thought of that before. Swedish food company Oumph has become recognized on the global stage for its unique gourmet creation that, according to them, has the texture of human flesh. Yum, I guess. Oumph co-founder, corporate chief, and head innovator Anders Linden was excited about the Cannes win while marveling at how far food technology has come. He said developing a plant-based burger that tastes of human meat was exciting and a little bit scary. And then for this campaign to win in Cannes is incredibly exciting. It's a silver. The human meat plant-based burger was just awarded a silver lion in Cannes Lion, and we are beyond happy. We've developed this burger in no time as soon as we knew what taste and texture we were after. This is our ultimate and weird way of showing that it's possible to create any type of food by using just plant. You mean just plants? Okay. According to a press release issued by the company, Oumph invited patrons to a Halloween event last year to try the world's first plant-based burger resembling human meat. The burger is made from mostly soya, mushrooms, and wheat protein. Oh, I can't eat it. I'm allergic to wheat. Dang it. I was so hoping to go cannibal. What can I say? I mean, it's not for me. Apparently, humans are too much like wheat. Can't have them. As well as plant-based fats and a mysterious spice mix. I can tell you what the mysterious spice mix is. It's actual human flesh, mixed probably with human bones. So, yeah, that's why it tastes like human flesh. Which, to be frank, sounds quite ominous. Yes, it does sound quite ominous. Global brand leader at Oumph, Heinrich Ackerma, said that he wanted the burger to push boundaries and challenge people's food perceptions. No. You want to get people ready to eat human flesh. There's no challenging human food perceptions that we haven't already come up with in the Western world. It's called eating bugs. No, I'm not eating your bugs. It's called freaking eating vegetables. What the hell's wrong with you people? We can afford to eat meat in this country. We're going to eat damn meat. Don't you understand? He added, as a small brand, we need to be bold and ready to push some boundaries to break through. And I think this campaign is a good example of us doing just that. When Oumph dropped a chilling Halloween-themed promotional video advertising their new product last year, it was met with a divisive response. We're going to watch the video. Not right now. The article is not much longer. I'm going to finish that, and then we'll watch the video. Some were curious to try the plant-based burger, as one person wrote. This is most like the best burger you will ever have the pleasure of eating. A real exquisite delicacy, Another commented, I want it. Vegan for the animals. Okay, then. A third person said, this is beyond epic, ha ha ha. While another wrote, awesome, go vegan and never skip on the fun. If you think eating human flesh is fun, there's something definitely wrong with you. However, many were disturbed by the concept. One person said, and how would they know what it tastes like? How demonic. Another wrote, so disgusting. I'm sorry, but I will not consider buying anything from this company in the future. I have so many questions now. Who came up with this? Why would anyone want to know what human flesh tastes like besides despicable people? The very thought makes my stomach turn. While another commented, this is sick, joke or not. But given its huge win, don't knock it until you try it. And that's the end of the article. We'll watch the video now, the commercial. Let's go here. This is on YouTube. It's going to be super fun, I'm sure.
At Oumph, we turn plants into any mouth-watering meat you can imagine. This Halloween,
Is human flesh mouthwatering to anybody out there watching this?
We bring you the scariest plant-based food ever. Plant-based human meat. So be scared. But relax. 'Cause it's plant-based. The human meat plant-based burger. Do you dare to taste it? Only available this Halloween. 'Cause otherwise it would be creepy.
No, sorry, it's creepy anyway. And I mean, yeah, the big question is, how do you know this is anything at all like human flesh, unless you've actually had human flesh? I mean, that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? Anyway, thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed, because YouTube does unsubscribe people every single day. Find me on Twitter and on Rumble, and I will see you in the next video.